The elevator stopped at floor 7 twice in a row, even though our building has no 7th floor. The doors opened to a hallway that smelled like wet cardboard and copper, and the floor indicator blinked my apartment number. When the doors closed, a new button lit up on the panel. It had my name on it. I was alone in the service elevator at 2:12 a.m., and the floor indicator flipped to 7 anyway. The building has 12 floors. There is no 7. There has never been a 7. The doors slid open with a wet hiss. The carpet outside was dark and swollen, like it had been soaked and dried too many times. The air smelled like wet cardboard and old pennies. The lights hummed at a lower pitch, like the electricity was tired. The panel behind me was blinking my apartment number, like it wanted me to step out. I am the overnight facilities tech for Ridgeway Tower. Lights, leaks, alarms, nothing dramatic. When I started, the old superintendent gave me one rule about the elevators. If the doors open on a floor you did not choose, keep your feet inside the cab. He said it like it was a joke, but his hands shook when he taped that card up. He also told me, quietly, never take the same corridor twice if you get lost. Never. At 2:11, I got a service call from 9B. I took the service car up. It was smooth until it was not. The cab slowed between floors. The motor sound dropped an octave and stayed there. The steel walls felt warm against my knuckles, like the car was sweating. Condensation beaded, then slid in slow, sticky trails. The indicator flickered. 6, 7, 6, 7. I heard a voice over the speaker, faint and cheerful, reading my name like a weather report. Then the bell chimed and the doors opened again. I kept my feet inside the cab. I leaned out just enough to look. The hallway stretched farther than it should, the walls narrowing toward a vanishing point that never arrived. The carpet was spongy under the threshold, like it was holding water. It smelled sour, like wet paper and bleach. The door numbers were wrong, 7A, 7B, 7C, printed on thin brass that looked too new. I heard a phone ringing somewhere down the hall. That is why I stepped out. My boot sank into the carpet and left a print that filled with moisture. The elevator doors closed behind me. The bell rang again, but it sounded farther away than it should. I walked left, then right, then left again. The same scuff mark reappeared on the baseboard. I passed my own wet footprint before I made it. I remembered the rule, never take the same corridor twice, but the hall had already folded itself. I found a maintenance panel bulging out of the wall, like it was hiding something too big. The screws were already loose. The metal was warm and slightly soft, like old gum. Inside was a ledger, sealed in plastic. The pages were damp anyway. Names, dates, floors that did not exist. Each entry ended at 2:12 or 2:17 or 2:33, times that did not move forward. My name was already there, written in fresh ink that smeared when I touched it. Above the list, stamped in block letters, Archive Level 7. The lights brightened, and I heard the elevator bell again, closer this time. The elevator was open when I turned around. The cab looked smaller, like it had exhaled. The panel was covered in names, each button soft and slightly raised, like scar tissue. One of them glowed. Mine. I slapped the lobby button. It was gone. The only choices were names and the word archive. The car dropped, then slid sideways. The walls groaned. The floor tilted just enough to make my stomach lurch. Through a seam in the door, I saw the shaft pressed into steel, thin and pale, their mouths open in silent questions. The bell rang inside my ribs. The air went cold, then thick like gelatin. The doors closed, and the car kept moving toward the dark. This is the last entry on my log. At 3:01, the lobby camera shows the elevator arriving with no one inside. The directory board updates on its own. A new line prints in black letters, Floor 7, Maintenance. If you hear the bell and the floor number does not exist, keep your feet inside the cab. If you step out, the building will decide where you belong.